Reading tips part 23. I've been pushing this off for too long. You may come to a point in your reading skills when you just know something supernaturally, through the Akashic record, supermind, or collective unconscious. Or you could just be past the level of development of the authors. At that point, you should go with your intuition on how to read, even if that means skimming. Esoteric idea is that sometimes you won't understand something simply because the relevance of that idea is inapplicable to your life, or it simply doesn't take that much priority in what your mission is, and so you can just skip that, or you can go through it quicker than other places. The OCD to understand every little thing, sometimes that's a sign that you should read every little thing, and sometimes it's not. There's an oval eye technique where you're not even using the finger, but you're reading like this, like ovals, and that way you spin around, you understand more. That's hard that you can read an audiobook while you're reading to rest your mind. What might be useful is putting the reading finger behind the word you're reading. So if I'm up to there, I'll be reading from R. You see, and it's always in front of you. Making these reading tips the longest one yet is an experiment. I started accustoming myself to tapping pages that are small, and then I just imagine the line going really quick. Sometimes I can imagine it going that way, and my mind can also understand it that way. If you're using an audiobook as you read, you can speed up the audio to match your reading speed. Sometimes I reach 8 times the speed, one time I reached 15, I was in a rhythm. You'll be surprised how fast your mind is really moving, especially in a flow state. Flow state people can sometimes read an average page in like 10 seconds. They don't even realize they're doing it. Sometimes I apply a mobile laser technique where I imagine a laser between my two fingers, and I'm like rotating it in a flexible format. When you're reading, put your finger behind the word you're up to. That's what I meant earlier. And that way you're pushing the place that you're up to, and therefore you're always ahead of the finger. When you're reading less important notes, you can skim and just imagine lines forming as you glide through, or even glide through from that way. Because the whole point is efficiency. And when I say notes, you can apply this to songs like in Lord of the Rings. Oh, I don't need to know about all that song. You can just skim it. Okay, I got that about that. That helps here, that helps there. So you're applying this to other areas in your reading that may be applicable to this concept. This is underrated. If you're detoxing something in your body, your mind will cause your digestion to be the focus. So your capacity to have conscious attention on what you're reading is much harder. This could affect your speed reading, so you should check if you're allergic to white flour or gluten or something like that, and know what you put in your body prior to eating or the day before. If you want to read while on the rebounder or trampoline, one method is to hold your elbows to your waist as you're doing it. It'll keep stability. Gently press your toes on the rebounder with your knees slightly bent. For the last couple months, I've been applying the generalized skim for a lot of books. This is partly because I've been going through a lot of stress. There have been a lot of things in my personal life, and I just didn't have the time to focus on every little thing. So I mostly applied skimming techniques. But the reason why this is acceptable is because you start understanding people and writing styles and the way people think and levels of development and so on. You also understand brain types and what type of research this person has done, how knowledgeable is he. If he has a PhD, chances are there's a much richer exploration of the topic. Keep in mind that most people with a PhD automatically tap into stage yellow because they have to think holistically about a topic to understand it thoroughly. So there's much less bias and a humble understanding of the topic. Remember that skimming is a form of reading, and getting into a flow state is usually because you're very interested in the topic. If you have those components, you'll automatically get into it. With practice and consistency, you will eventually get very good at something.